Is Dune Awakening dead on launch? Well, that's a big question that many people have been asking themselves. Dune Awakening launched into its head start period on June 5th with a full launch on June 10th. Well, I think some people might have to eat their words because Funcom already have a big success under their belts. The game has hit a concurrent player count of over 100,000 in its head start period alone, along with over 7,000 mostly positive reviews on Steam. It must feel like a pure joy and relief to Funcom on such a successful start to the launch of Dune Awakening. A lot of my community have been diving into the game head first, and it's got them gripped, which says a lot about the game. So although we are only a few days in, there's a lot of news and information that has been shared. So we'll dive into it in this video. Let's get right into it. With live service games, a lot of the time on launch, server performance is questionable. With Dune Awakening, it was a little shaky at the start, where servers disappeared from the server browser, latency issues, long queues, and character restrictions. However, Funcom have been working incredibly hard to improve their server stability. I've noticed the last couple of days that the latency is so much more stable. Characters can be created most of the time, and the biggest of them all is that the queues are relatively non-existent. That doesn't mean that there's no queues during peak times. Queues are still a thing, but it is expected. Funcom also mentioned that they've increased the player cap on every server, so this does help out a lot. Not only have Funcom increased the player counts, they've also increased the number of servers available to spread out the player base and reduce wait times. The EU and NA regions have been expanded daily with many new worlds and features, but Funcom aren't done there. They are still working daily leading up to the official launch to provide the most stable and enjoyable experience on official worlds. We did end up getting dedicated servers on launch, which was unexpected but a pleasant surprise. However, they've only picked 3 providers at the moment, which does limit the diversity a little bit. However, I'm sure Funcom will be adding more server providers as time goes by. Unfortunately, comparing to official servers, the unofficial server players had a bit more of a rough launch where servers wouldn't boot, some were never even delivered. Even as I make this video, there are some players who are still waiting on their pre-orders for their servers, which yeah, that's pretty bad. It obviously could have been avoided if more providers were present. I really hope Funcom learns from this and adds more ASAP, as I am a bisect hosting partner but would love to see them added. But no rush, no rush. I've had a ton of people asking me, is Dune Awakening better now than it was during the beta weekend? Well, good news. Yes, it is, and here is why. It's obvious that Funcom have worked hard to deliver an experience, and versus other games in similar genre, the polish on this game is so much more improved than the other titles. We are so used to getting a buggy mess and devs fixing it post-launch, but it was a breath of fresh air to have a lot of issues fixed in the full release. Comparing it to the beta, Dune Awakening runs better, graphically it looks fantastic, and I no longer get the frame generation bug at the edges of the screen, and I haven't experienced a crash yet. However, there is some bugs still with a game like this, and it's really hard not to have a perfectly flawless game on launch. However, these bugs are minor and they do not take away from the experience. One of the biggest changes that I've noticed is the combat. They've totally reworked the feel of the combat to feel more weighted and lesser animation locks, which is a big improvement. However, they still need more improvement on the combat, and I would really love to see this soon, and I know that Funcom are aware of this. Overall, I'm happy with Dune Awakening. I think it shows that others are too, considering they're playing like crazy and racking up those hours of playtime. The future does seem bright with Dune Awakening, with a mapped out post-game DLC release schedule planned up to the summer next year. It might be time to buy your copy and jump on the hype of Dune. If you did want to, please consider doing through my link in the description below. You can grab either the base game, deluxe, or the ultimate editions, depending on what you want to receive from Dune. For now, I'll be working on a ton of content for Dune Awakening, such as tips, tricks, guides, guild-related madness. So keep your eyes peeled for the future, and please look forward to it. Until next time, friends. Bye!